everyone, a very warm good evening to one and all present over here. I am back with a wonderful session of IELTS series where I am evaluating your answers to let you know that how you can avoid committing the mistakes in your IELTS examination. So now, today I am here back with a wonderful session of writing task 1 and I'll be evaluating over here which is a offline graph. Okay, very good evening Sharda, welcome to this wonderful session and come on now, be quick and let me know that you guys are here. Okay, come on, be quick, come fast. Now, so very good evening ma'am, I hope you are having a wonderful day. Yes, I am having a wonderful day and I hope too for you the same. Hello ma'am, good evening, very good evening Kirti. Welcome back to this wonderful session. Okay, now come on, be quick. Come fast. Okay. Now, so let's understand what are the topics we are going to cover today. Okay. So basically here are the topics that I'll be covering to let you know how you're going to start up with the new topic which is line graph. Today we are going to start up with the line graph. Okay, so the very first, hello Rahul, very good evening. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to start up with the format of line graph, evaluation question, evaluation answer and areas of improvement and definitely the final response. So basically these are the topics that we are going to cover today. Let's understand first of all what is actually a line graph is. Okay, now. So first of all, what happens is so far whatever I have covered is bar graph, pie chart and this is going to be line graph, right? Just let me know everyone, was that pie chart and bar graph was clear to you? If yes, then please do comment on the comment section. And I need hearts real quick. Okay? Come on. Yes? Fair enough. Okay. Now, listen to me carefully. Format of line graph. So, just for you, so that you can have a clear idea to all the students who are starting up with their IELTS exam and to all the students who are actually going on with their IELTS examination. Even if you know about it, that is good. But still, if you don't and if you're new here, let me just tell you what it actually means and how it is actually framed. Okay? समझना है ऐसा कभी हो सकता है. Okay, very good evening Sumit. Come on now, pay attention over here. Now, format of line graph. Okay, so basically everyone would have been, studied line graph in their mathematics, but this is way too different than mathematics. Okay, it is not maths, it is a sheer English that you have to take care. Okay, you just need to take care on the numerical portion. Okay, what you need to take care is on the numerical portion, that's all. Okay, nothing more than that. Now listen to me carefully. It has axis. Okay, it has axis like similarly that we have it in bar graph, similarly we are going to have it in line chart. Okay, now x axis which is horizontal in nature, I'm talking about this. Okay, this one. Okay, and the y-axis which is vertical in nature. This is what I'm talking about is y-axis and this is your x-axis. Got it? Now, so typically represent time, example, years, months and days. So basically this line typically defines what? Years, months and dates. Basically it defines this, right? What else? Now this line tells us that represents a variable being measured, for example, percentage, number of people, amount of money. Now this line tells you about what? That tells you about percentage. What else? Number of people and money. So basically these are some of the pointers that x-axis and y-axis shows you. Okay. Now Data points indicate specific values on the graph, connects the data points to show trends. Now, what are data points? Data points are nothing but just the numerical pointers over here that you can see. Okay, these are known as what? These are known as data point. Now, one more thing, if you would have noticed that I have told you already, whenever you are going to present it, whenever you are going to present writing task 1, you have to be very sure that what all things that you need to take care. Okay, so if anyone knows about the presentation or format or structure, let me know. Okay, by the time I'll be telling you. Now here you can see in the x-axis, you can have a quick look that here you can see this, what is written? Pizza, hamburger, fish and chips. Now what is this? These are the pointers, or these are the categories that are going to be dealt in the line graph, right? So these are the main categories which we are going to deal with in the line graph. Okay, now so basically you can see the colors are different just to show the difference. Okay, what is the different amount that is going to be there? Okay, now so the format that I was trying to talk about is, I have already told you, if you remember, that it goes with IBC format. What is IBC format? I have already told you. IBC format is nothing but intro, body and conclusion. This is what an IBC format looks like. All clear? Let me know in the comment section. Come on, be quick. All clear? Any question from anyone? I need everyone's comment. Come on, be quick. Is it clear to you? Shall I move ahead? Yes, I'm not getting comments. Come on, be quick. All set? Clear? Fine. Now, again, what does line graph shows? Okay, why it is important for you to know that what does line graph shows? Because basically it will make you clearer on the portion that what you need to write in your answer. Okay, so basically, as I have told you that I have told you about bar chart which shows the change in percentage. Okay, which shows in the growth in a certain category, which shows the change in percentage in certain category, some or the other. Okay, now pie chart tells you about the percentage covered. Okay, and line graph tells you about the trends over time. Okay, whenever there is going to be change in trend, it is being depicted by line graph. All three graphs play different role and are being depicted in different kind of situations. Okay, now trends over time. Line graph are used to depict changes in trends over specified period of time. For example, from this year to this year, what is the trend change? So it can be the period of 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, whatever the time period is being given. Okay, now second, comparison. Definitely whenever I'm talking about the trend changes over time, now it can be of one category also. Now when I say category, it can be of anything. It can be the production, it can be the consumption, it can be the supply, or it can be of any category. Okay, now they can compare multiple data set if more than one line is present. I told you, if you are talking about one category, then it is also trackable in nature. But even if you are talking about more than one, then the data can be compared very easily in this line chart, right? Now, patterns. They reveal patterns such as increase, decrease, fluctuation and steadiness. Increase, decrease, fluctuation. Fluctuation means when the data is very fluctuated in nature. Okay, up and down like that. Okay, and steadiness. What is meant by steadiness? Steadiness means constant. Whenever the data is constant, even that is also a kind of pattern. Okay, Now let's talk about rate of change. They show how quickly or slowly something changes. Definitely, whenever we are trying to predict the line chart or whenever we are trying to portray a line chart, it always shows that how quickly a data is being changing over time. Got it? Here is an example. You can see initially here is a period of 0 to 100. Okay. So now let's talk about pizza first. You can see pizza is somewhat, we can say, like 20%. Okay, in grams. So 20 grams consumption on an average. I'm not commenting on the clear numerical data. I have already told you, whenever there is an obscure idea of the numerical data, always make sure that you use approximations. Okay, I have already told you about this. Make sure you use approximations to get a better usage of the particular language. Okay, now so we've got 20 grams of pizza in 1970. Right? Now what happened? It remained constant till where? It remained constant till 85. Okay? So a very minimal increase it been shown. Okay? And it has somewhat ranged to 100, 105 something. Okay? Now what happened? It has shown a sudden increase. You can see here it is giving a very sudden increase, and then in 1990 it is somewhat ranging where? Almost 300. So what you can see, from ranging from 20% to 300 in these years. This is what it shows. No ma'am, pizza is consumed and liked by everyone. Okay. Yes, no doubt on that part. That is the fair answer you've given. But still, we have to stick on to the data, right? We cannot assume. Again, I have told you, don't assume your own answers, and don't assume your own opinions and all that. It has nothing to do with the examiner. It has nothing to do with the band score. Okay. So your band score will be provided according to the data that you are delivering over here, through here, right? Now, let's have an evaluation question. Let's understand what an evaluation question is going to tell us about. Okay. Now, as I have already told you, always, very first thing that I have told you what it is. Read the question carefully. Also, read the instruction carefully. I know now it has become a cliche line. Okay, I have said it so many times that you guys might have got bored from this, but trust me, it is the only, you can say, a greatest tip of all time that I can give you. Okay, so be very careful while doing these two things. Okay. Hi Kashish, how are you? I hope you're doing great. Okay, now listen to me carefully. The line graph shows the average number of weekly patients visiting for clinic of a hospital from 2010 to 2016 or 2010 to 2016. Got the question? I'm reading it once again, now pay attention. The line graph shows the average number of weekly patient. So this is for clinic in which the average number of weekly patient has to visit in for clinic of a hospital from 2010 to 2016. Got it? Fair enough? Now, here you can see, here is the diagram. So, let's understand, after reading the question, we need to read the diagram as well, as I have already told you. Let's understand the diagram so that it will be easier for us to understand the answer, right? Now, number of patients to 4 clinic and 1 hospital. Okay, this is what it is showing. Fine. Now here we can see we have n number of numbers over here. Now this is y-axis and this is x-axis, as I have already told you, right? So the number is ranging from 0 to 400. Okay. So this is the number of patient. Okay. Now here is the year that is being shown: 10, 12, 14 and 16. Okay. Now, let's have a quick look at the categories that we are going to talk about. This is birth control. So, this line is going as birth control. Right? What about the next one? This is eye checkup. Fair enough. Now, this is diabetic. Okay? This is diabetic. And this line is dental. I understand it might be a little bit, unclear or might be confusing because the patterns of the line are way too similar. Now, you have to be very precise on mentioning these ideas. So, make sure you take care of these categories specially because the pattern that is being used over here is very common and you might end up getting confused between them. In order to write your answer in rush, there might be huge possibility that you might end up making a mess over here, right? So, try not to do that. Now, let's have a quick look. We know it already. Okay, this is birth control. This is eye. Okay, this is birth control. Okay. This is eye. Okay. And this is diabetic. And this is dental. Right? Just for your reference, I'm writing it over here. Now, let's have a quick look at the answer that's been given. The supplied line graph depicts the average number of patients visited 4 distinct clinics of hospital on a weekly basis between 2010 and 2016. So what we can get over here, what we can get from here is, what we can see is this is, from here to here, it is an intro. Got it? Now, one thing I would like to tell you again and again, make sure you don't write the intro, don't copy the question as it is. Again, no doubt intro is going to be the paraphrased version of the question, but still you have to be very careful that you don't copy it up. First thing. Second, there is no paraphrasing done. Okay. Third, between 2010 and 2016. If you are writing between, then make sure you write to over here. With between, to preposition will be used over here. Okay? 2 years are given over here, right? And you are written between. Make sure if you write between, then add 2. Yes, it is also a point where you might get your band score less. Okay, it will be considered as grammatical range and accuracy. So, be very particular of it. Now, overall, every clinic saw an increase in number of patients except birth control, which experienced some fluctuation but remained at the same level. So, from here to here, we can see there is an overall mention. Okay. So, this is an overall or an overview of the answer. Okay. Can we see that every... Okay, this is also has shown an increase. So yes, diabetic has also shown an increase over here, but in the last stage. And dental has also shown an increase over here. Fine, fair enough. Only birth control is something that is falling. That is showing a very long fluctuation and also it has not increased but decreased. Okay. So make sure you take special care of the diagram properly and make sure you take care of these. And if your trend or line or bar graph is not ranging at these pointers, make sure you use approximators. Okay? Be very particular of that. Okay. Now, to begin with, so we are going to start up with this on the first para. To begin with, number of people visited eye clinic rocketed from around 125 in 2010. One thing I'd like to appreciate over here is the word rocketed. Very precisely, very nicely used. The terms of vocabulary that are being used is very good. Amazing. Okay. Now, visited eye clinic rocketed from around 125. So, let's have a quick look at it. So, is it 125? Now, here. Around 125, very good, amazing, approximators are being used, very good. Now, so around 125, it somehow ranged to 350. to 350 by 2016. Okay, fine. So the student has tried and took one section from here and explained it and ended it. Fair enough. Okay, now. Okay. Birth control was experiencing a traffic of slight below 250 in 2010. No doubt the student has started the another category, but the transition is missing. All of a sudden ending this topic over here and not showing any transition. The student could have used the connectors over here in order to show a proper transition of the data. Okay, so what can be used? It could have been on the other hand, it could have been however, it could have been additionally, moreover, furthermore, in addition to, it could have been anything. Okay, now fine, which then rows again from here to here. Here it needs to be a punctuation which is missing. A punctuation is missing over here which shouldn't be. Okay, punctuations are also certain pointers which we need to take care at the time of writing the answer. So if the student, again I have already told you, whenever to put a comma, whenever we are separating the different kind of clauses. Okay, so experiencing a traffic slight below 250 in 2010, which then rose to around 275 by 2012, and then it dropped at around 175 by 2040. Now again, even though the student has mentioned the data properly, still it is not giving a clear data. Okay, so it's just a mentioning of the pointers and no comparison is being done over here. Okay, after that it again grew to same as initial by 2016. Okay, same as initial is giving a little unclear idea on at what range the line graph is, having a static data. Diabetic and dental clinic were around 60 and 100 respectively in 2010. Okay, fine. Okay. But after experiencing many fluctuations, both saw an increase. Experiencing many fluctuations. Again, when you are going really good in terms of language, then why are you going back to the basic and then making your level of the sentence again to the basic? If you are using a good level of sentence, make sure you maintain it or retain it till the end of the answer. Got it? So don't, if you're maintaining a good flow from here to here, make sure you improve it. You don't have to degrade it. Okay, otherwise your band score will also be degraded. Now, finally, dental clinic figures at 150 by 2016, while diabetic rose by more than twice as it was initially 175 by 2016. No doubt the student's presentation is very amazing. Okay, the student's presentation is very clear, very amazing, but yes, comparison is lacking. When I say comparison, I don't mean that comparison within the data. If you are talking about 𝐒𝐻, then I am comparing that in 𝐒𝐻 it was initially 150 and then in 2020 it went to 200. No, not talking about this comparison. I am talking about comparison within the category. You know what I mean is like comparing 𝐒𝐻 to diabetic patient or comparing birth control patient to diabetic patient, like that. So that comparison was missing. No doubt the entire answer is of 176 around words, right? If I'm not wrong. It has reached 150, right? No doubt on that part. It is reaching to the word limit. So it is crossing the word limit, which is the minimum word limit, which is 150, right? But still, there are a lot of relevant ideas which I found missing in this entire answer. Okay, now, so let's understand how we are going to improve it. Okay, now, the response covers all the main trends and changes, definitely, that I have already told you. Though it covered all the changes, fluctuation, fine, grew, increase, fair enough. Now, but the explanation of the trends could be more concise. Okay. For example, the phrase birth control was experiencing a traffic of slight below 250 in 2010 could be rephrased to the birth control clinic had slightly below 250 patient in 2010. Got it? Now, If I talk about the next, which is cohesion and coherence, now again, I'm not saying that the student has committed a lot of mistakes, because definitely it is very precise, to the point, dealing with the entire task. Each and every task is being assessed, but only the task that is left, which is comparison. Rest, everything is up to the mark. The usage of different vocabulary, which is rocketed, fluctuation, grew, increased, these words have actually worked really good. It is very impressive that the students have actually used these words. Now, the response is logically organized with a clear sequence that reflects the changes over time for each clinic, which is a good thing. Now, some sentences could be better connected to enhance the overall flow. For example, when I told you that the transition was missing, have a clearer look. Birth control was experiencing a traffic of slight below 250 in 2010, which then rose to around 275 by 12. Then it dropped at around 175 by 2014. After that, it again grew to same as initial by 2016. It is run-on sentence. Breaking it into small parts would make it clearer. Now, what is run-on sentence? Run-on sentence is like the student has continuously mentioned the same. It's like working as like, continuing the entire series again and again and again. It's like whatever it is being seen, the student is entirely copying it up. So, in this year, it was this. In this year, it was this. Okay. So, this is a run-on sentence going on. Now, breaking the sentence. Okay. Got it? So, what did I say? Breaking the sentence while using the complex sentences would have been clearer. Okay? Now, let's talk about the lexical resources. The response uses a variety of vocabulary to describe the changes such as rocketed, experiencing and fluctuation, which is a really good thing. Now, let's understand what else could have been improvised over here. Traffic of slide below 250 could be just below 250 patients. Okay. Now, what else? Saw an increase is repetitive. Alternative phrase could be used to add variety. Saw an increase, increased over time. Okay. For decreasing, you can use plummeted. Okay. Fell down, had seen a sudden fall. Okay. So, basically, these are the terminology. Make sure you use all the alternatives. Learn it. Remember it. Learn it. If you're not able to, memorize, just learn it. What are all sorts of words that you can use when you are mentioning that the data is increasing? What are sorts of words you can use when you are mentioning that the data is decreasing? Again, what are sorts of things that you can have, you can have a clear look at, when the data is constant. So, basically, whatever you are going to take care, this is what is going to be represented. Okay. Again, when I say wide variety or wide range of vocabulary, I don't mean you have to come up with a complex vocabulary. Make sure you use wide range of vocabulary in order to improve your question. Okay. Now, let's talk about grammatical range and accuracy. The response demonstrates a good range of sentence structure, including complex sentences. There are several grammatical errors that affect clarity. Okay, what are those? Birth control was experiencing a traffic of slide below 215 to 2010 should be the birth control clinic had slightly below 250 patients in 2010. It is enhancing the clarity of the statement. It dropped at around 175 should be it dropped to around 175. Okay. Can you see the basic difference between the present preposition that is being used? It dropped at around 175 or it dropped to around 175. Here is a major difference. Now, this only one preposition is changing the entire meaning of the sentence. Okay. Now, diabetic and dental clinic were around 60 and 100 respectively. Should be the diabetic and dental clinic had around 60 and 100 patients respectively. Okay, so basically these categories had these amount or number of patients over there. Okay, so basically these are the mistakes that you need to avoid. Now these are very silly mistakes. I am going to call it very silly mistakes, silliest mistakes I can say. Okay, now these mistakes you should be aware of yourself. Again, it is a lack of revision that I have to take out these mistakes. If the student would have revised the response and then would have shared the evaluation, trust me, these mistakes could have been rectified by the student itself. You guys are preparing for IELTS. You yourself are capable of taking out these mistakes, pointing out these mistakes on your own and rectifying it on your own. Got it? Don't. Make sure that because of these mistakes, you're not going to deduct your band score in your examination. Got it? Now, here is the final response. You can have a quick look. The line graph illustrates the average number of weekly patients visiting 4 different clinics in a hospital from 2010 to 2016. Overall, the number of patients visiting each clinic increased over the period except for the birth control clinic, which has experienced some fluctuation but ended at the same level as it started. Okay. To begin with, again, make sure you use it with a good opening statement. The number of people visiting the eye clinic rose sharply from around 125 in 2010 to 350 by 2016. Okay. Now, showing a significant increase. Okay. The birth control clinic started with just below 250 patients in 2010, rising to approximately 275 by 2012. Now, it then dropped to around 175 by 2014 before returning to its initial level by 2016. Both the diabetic and dental clinic had lower patient numbers in 2010. Now, whenever you see two categories working in the same level of trend shows, okay? So, whenever you are seeing that two categories are showing the same level of trend, you can just compile them and present it over here like it has been done over here. Both diabetic and dental clinic had lower patient numbers in 2010 at around 60 and 100 respectively, okay? Despite experiencing several fluctuations, both clinics saw increases over the period. By 2016, and dental clinic had reached 150 patients, while diabetic clinic more than doubled its initial figures, raising to 175 patients. Always remember, now grouping of the data is what is going to play a role. Two categories showing same trend, compile them. Two categories showing different trends, explain them differently. Got it? I know that there is not much of a deal, but then grouping comes into the action, and grouping is actually that is making the entire confusion in understanding the answer. Make sure the grouping is very precise. Okay? Now, let's have a quick look on what are the things that we have learned so far. And in the end, revise. Take a quick screenshot so that you don't miss any of the information, right? Read the question and instructions properly. Diagram reading is a must to present a clarity in your answer. And also take care of the trend change and fluctuation. Compare them. Make sure you compare them in order to achieve task achievement. Also, take care of the word count, vocab and connectors. And in the end, last but not the least, revise them properly. Revise your responses properly so that you don't end up making these mistakes. Okay, and that answer is ranging somewhat this bands. Okay, this is the range of the answer. This is the range of the band score for this particular answer. Got it? Okay. So yes, thanks a lot. Thank you so much for watching this entire series. Thank you so much. I hope this is helping you, and I hope that you guys are actually executing when you are trying to write up your answer, right? So make sure you don't, do these kinds of mistakes again and again, and make sure you revise to rectify these kind of errors, because it's going to play a major impact on your band score. Okay, so yes, keep on practicing, keep on learning. Bye bye, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.